Hi, and welcome to the ITNC podcast. Today's topic will concern communication strategy. So buckle up, and we'll get started.
So let's define communication. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. So basically, a communication involves a sender, a message, and a recipient. Strategy. It is a general plan or set of plans intended to achieve something, especially over a long period. And communication strategy is the blueprint for how the communication will be exchanged. There are two types of communication strategies. The first one is the verbal and the second one is the non-verbal or the visual. Verbal communication strategies can be broken down into two categories of written and oral communication. So for the examples of written strategies are emails, text, and chat. And for the oral category, there are phone calls, video chats, and face-to-face conversation. Non-verbal communication strategies consist mostly verbal cues such as body language, facial expression, physical distance between communicators, or the tone of your voice. These cues are typically not intended, however, it is important to realize the message you are sending. Otherwise, you may be saying one thing, yet the receiver is hearing another. Visual communication strategies can be seen through signs, web page, and illustration. These strategies are used in the workplace to draw attention and provide documentation. Human resource is required to post certain visuals throughout the workplace to comply with the safety laws. So for the visual communication strategies, these are the posters, symbols, signs, advertisement posters, or slogans that you can see in the street, workplace, billboards, and etc. According to Smithy-chan, international communication consists of those advertised activities which are used by the marketer to inform and persuade the consumer to buy. A well-designed promotion mix includes advertising, sales, promotion, personal selling, and public relations, which are mutually reinforcing and focus on the common objective. International communication strategy involves 5 steps. So first is determining the promotional mix. So in formulating a specific breakdown of your promotional mix, you have to know the time frame for testing promotional campaigns, you have to know the budget, and you have to know what is the promotional mix you will use. Addition to the first one is you have to know what is your main focus. For example, you will give 50% in advertising, 20% in personal selling, and 30% sales promotion. Number 2, determining the extent of worldwide standardization. We know that international community, there is a set of rules and or guidelines to be followed. The goal of standardization is to enforce a level of consistency or uniformity to certain practices or operations within the selected environment. Standardization ensures that certain goods or performances are produced in the same way via set guidelines. Third is developing the most effective way. You have to know what is the most effective and efficient way to deliver your message. For example, the Coca-Cola company, they advertise their product based on what the consumer will feel about their product. For example, you will experience happiness, you will feel the family's warmth, the growth, and the hug of or the love of everyone once you consume their product. And the fourth one is selecting effective media. So in selecting effective media, you have to know what platform is the most effective way to put your product or to set your advertisement. And there are examples of this media are TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or online shops, etc. Last is establishing the necessary controls to assist in achieving worldwide marketing objectives.
Let's now discuss push strategy. A push marketing strategy, also called a push promotional strategy, refers to a strategy in which a firm or production company attempts to take its products to consumers. In a push marketing strategy, the goal is to use various active marketing techniques to push their products to be seen by consumers, sometimes right at the point of purchase. One of the main objectives of push marketing is to reduce to as small as possible the amount of time that elapses between the customer seeing a product and making a purchase decision to buy the product. These are the characteristics of push strategy. Product categories where there's low brand loyalty, where many acceptable substitutes are available in the market. Relatively new products are to be launched, The product purchase is unplanned or on impulse. And lastly, the consumer is familiar and has adequate knowledge about the product. As we can see in the illustration, a production company, which is the producer, may try to convince a retailer to stock its product. Once the retailer stocks the product, the manufacturer or wholesaler may further push the product at consumers with an eye-catching and informative point-of-sale display. As the product gets pushed to the market, the demand will be more likely to increase. These are the examples of a push marketing strategy: personal selling, trade shows or trade conventions, trade-oriented sales promotion, paid advertising, and point-of-sales display. Now let's talk about the advantages of a push marketing strategy. First, it establishes a sales channel and seeks distributors to help with product promotion. It creates product exposure, product demand, and consumer awareness about a product. The demand can be more forecastable and predictable as the producer can produce and push as much or as little product to consumers. And lastly, economies of scale can be realized if the product can be produced at a scale due to high demand. For the disadvantages of a push marketing strategy, first is that it requires an active sales team that is able to work. Second, poor negotiating power with retailers and distributors, especially for newly released products, and the possible inaccuracy in demand forecast. And lastly, the initial marketing efforts are likely to be more expensive.
Pull marketing strategy is also called pull promotional or pull selling strategy. From the word itself, it tends to pull or attract the customers to avail the company's products. So they create a need within the customers. They do it by putting marketing strategies as the priority and by allotting high expenditures on advertising. From there, the customers are then interested in the product and is motivated to buy it, which is the goal to make them want it. So for the advantages, direct relationship with the consumers can lead to consumer loyalty. They make it as a goal to base the product directly on the needs and wants of the consumers. So the consumers will seek then for the product. For these strategies, they utilize the use of social media networks. These are the pop-up ads that we can see in our social media accounts, especially with the enhanced ad algorithm nowadays. Next is word of mouth from YouTubers and influencers. Third is the advertising or the commercials that we see on television, referrals or the referral codes, promotions or the promo codes, discounts or the buy one get one offers and other promotional discounts. For the process, company advertises a product directly to consumer. When it succeeds, the consumers feel the need to have the product, so they proceed to the retail store to acquire the product being advertised. The retailers are directly connected to the producers to avail the stocks, and then the demand of the consumers are met. One good example is the Apple event last 20th of April 2021. Apple, in their latest Apple event named Spring Loaded, released a new series of devices with M1 chip including the iPad Pro and thinner Mac models. Prior to this event, they have been consistent in their Apple events that people are really waiting for it no matter which time zone they are in. With this, they attract new customers in trying their new products by using direct advertisements and well-funded promotions. Consumers then direct to retail stores worldwide to cop these new devices. Apple created this non-existing need for the majority of the population to try these products. So this is indeed an example of pull marketing strategy.
Similarities between push and pull strategy. When it comes to push and pull strategy, the question isn't which is better, but which is most appropriate, since they both have their pros and cons when it comes to advertising. There is only one similar factor. The similarities of push and pull strategy is very simple and straightforward. Both producers want their product to be seen by the end user, but since they have very different approach in promoting their product, why not use both of them instead? Both strategies aim to get their product to be seen by their customers and to be bought. Push and pull strategies can work together. It is what is called synergy. The sweet spot is combining elements of push and pull marketing. After all, push and pull strategy naturally match. One example of this are Apple product. Companies strive to create customer demand by constantly developing new products. An example of this are Apple products because they are constantly making new products and putting them in an early discount or pre-orders and putting it also on the market, as well as attracting customers to this product through advertising and promoting deals.
Differences of push and pull strategy. Push strategy involves taking the product directly to the customer via whatever means, ensuring that the customer is aware of your brand at the point of purchase. Examples of push strategy: direct selling to customers in showrooms or face-to-face, door-to-door sales, and distributional handling of brochures. Pull strategy. It involves motivating the customers to seek out your product themselves. Strategy to make sure the customers come to you and not the other way around. Examples of pull strategies: advertising and major promotion, word of mouth, and sales promotion and discount.
Now, let's proceed to the factors affecting the attractiveness of push and pull strategies. Based on the definition of push strategies, it focuses on promotional strategies. Here are some of the factors affecting the attractiveness of push strategy. First, the product type relative to the consumer satisfaction. Examples nito ay yung appealing package design na kung saan mahuhook yung attention ng customers. Package security and guaranteed safety of the particular product. Plus points din kasi kapag well-packaged and known to be safe yung particular product para iwas damages and disappointments from the consumers. Next is the promotional technique. Dito na papasok yung mga promo like discounts, buy one take one, and yung freebies. Kadalasan sa mga customers, pag nakita nila itong mga promo na to, tataas yung chance na mag-purchase sila ng particular product. So therefore, napupush sila na bumili ng bagay na yun, na naaakit sila. Last one is the sale approach. Take note na pwede din maging factor na nakaka-apekto sa attractiveness ng pull strategy. Pero kung about sa push strategy, pwedeng maka-apekto yung proper approach ng mga salespersons sa mga customers. Dito dapat maging maingat kasi pwedeng ma-push sa mga customers. Pwede din silang ma-disappoint dahil sa klase ng approach ng salesperson. Tulad ng pinag-aralan natin ng prelim, dapat welcome ng maayos ang mga customers. Like greetings na kung saan makakaramdam sila ng comfort at syempre dapat may consistency kung saan tuloy-tuloy lang ang magandang approach sa lahat ng klase ng customer.
Now, let us tackle the factors that determine the relative attractiveness of pull strategies. The three factors affecting its attractiveness are media availability, product type and consumer sophistication, and the channel length. So, media availability in pull strategy relies on access to advertising media. This can be done through social media, advertising flyers, posters, billboards, video commercials, and radio promotions. The next factor is product type and consumer sophistication. In pull strategy, it favors in industries that are trying to sell to a large segment of the market. The third factor is the channel length. So, channel length is the number of broker between the producer and the consumer. In a pull strategy, the channel length is long channel, meaning the producer sells through an import agent, wholesaler, or a retailer. So, to sum up, a pull strategy emphasizes mass media advertising and works well with consumer goods in a large segment of market and works better with longer distribution channels.
And there you have it for the ITNC podcast. Thank you for listening.